can be important that every district really has a community meeting and gets the input and gives, kind of gives you all the background of why this item's even on the agenda and how we will or not move forward in it. This has not been determined at this point, except that this is for information only. And again, we do plan on going to every district and talking to the community and get community inputs. And then from then, that item will be brought back on the agenda at a later date. So, and I know that I've had a lot of phone calls and a lot of interest on this item from people about what the outcome would be or would not be. And like I said, at this point, there's no vote will be taken at all today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. Managing Director Nicole Cody, if you'll please bring the presentation.
And again, I do thank everyone for being here. I think it's important to continue to be informed, and I thank you all, every one of you all, for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. And as you said, this is not an action item. So first I'd like to start with the cross-functional team activation. So the city manager had asked us to make sure that we pull the entire team together in order to be able to address the questions that we have regarding the, sorry about that, short-term rental ordinance. So as you can see, there was multiple departments that would be working together to be able to look at what would an ordinance look like for the city of El Paso. So what we'll discuss today are the current conditions and also the comparative cities that we looked at. We want to make sure that you know that we're focused on results as well as the next steps for our community outreach. So the current conditions. So what we've been able to find, and you'll see the source at the bottom of the slide, is just based on the use of the various platforms like Airbnb or VRBO. We're estimating, depending on the time of the year, from 1,500 to 1,800 short-term rentals that are operating in El Paso today. So what we're seeing also is the vast majority of short-term rentals are listed on Airbnb, but they might be on both as well. So there is a possibility for duplication in numbers, and we do know that they fluctuate depending on the time of year. Also, you'll see that our estimated occupancy rate, so that also changes depending on the time of year. Anywhere between the 58% that you're seeing, all the way up to a 70% occupancy rate for El Paso. And so this has changed over the past years, and it continues to change and fluctuate during the year. So the cities we looked at to look and see, well, what are they doing as far as an ordinance for their city? What's right for San Antonio or Dallas or Waco or Lubbock or Albuquerque or even Austin? And so each city has really looked at the short-term rental ordinance as an opportunity for their city and what's going to be right for them. So as we work together, we're looking at what's going to be right for El Paso. So as we continue on this process, we're really focusing on what that result is. So we will be making a recommendation regarding the ordinance that addresses both the hosts and the neighborhood's concerns. We're also looking at the safety of the guests and their neighborhoods, as well as ensuring that the process is user-friendly, it's simple, as well as it's really addressing the needs that we have as a city to be able to know where they're at, to ensure that code enforcement is involved, and that public safety is being met. Also, we want to make sure that we're basing these recommendations on the data. It comes down to data. And so while we have estimates for these permits, or estimates on where the short-term rentals may be located based on these platforms, we do not know for sure. And until we actually have an idea of what short-term rental means for El Paso, then we would come with a recommendation to you. So the initial framework that we have been building as a team to be able to provide recommendations to the community and to you all are looking at what is the definition of a short-term rental? How do we define it for El Paso? Do we need to have density limitations? That's truly a question at this point because we don't know where the short-term rentals are located. And then what are those safety requirements that need to be provided for not only the safety of the host of the short-term rental, but also their guests? And so what does that look like? What are those requirements that we would need, along with any associated costs to cover? So what we want to start with, of course, is a basic property definition. Short-term rental is a residential dwelling unit, apartment, condo, or accessory, where sleeping areas are rented to overnight guests for a period of less than 30 consecutive days. So this is the basic definition that we've seen across the state. This is the basic definition that there's an understanding of what defines a short-term rental. But the property types that we're looking at and how we define it for El Paso is what will be the cross-functional team will be working with you all as the city council, under the direction of the city manager, as well as with the community. So we're starting the next phase of community feedback. So we're going to be meeting, of course, with community members, Airbnb, short-term rental hosts or guests, our hotel-motel association, our chambers of commerce, the neighborhood coalitions, and of course developers as well. And this is to ensure we get a true cross-section of our community.
Council, for the record, Laura Cruz, Acosta Communications Director for the city. This provides an outline in terms of the outreach that we're providing related to this item in particular. We're looking at, we've already started developing a website within the planning and inspections and in order to provide the information. We'll be working on press releases, putting out social media, working with traditional media in terms of doing interviews and social and story pitches, as well as working with our own city TV programming and neighborhood associations, as also Nicole mentioned, related to neighborhood associations and also different stakeholders to include, as she mentioned, the chambers, the DMD, the Hotel Motel Association, and of course community meetings. And we'll be asking and calling on you all to put this in your newsletters. As you've already received an email from me related to this item in particular, I have received back some feedback from at least 2 of you and have scheduled 2 meetings already with regards to this topic. The other meetings that we're proposing, and these are tentative meetings, we've put a hold on all of these locations. The one on Wednesday, February the 8th, we will be hosting with District 4. We also have scheduled another one on February 1st and February 2nd. February 1st with District 2 hosting, and February the 2nd will be hosted by the Realtors Association. And of course, we'll have a hybrid meeting as well. So I will ask the council to please remember that I would like to see if I could get those of you who want community meetings in your with your constituents to please reach out to me or Soraya AU for my staff by tomorrow if possible, so that we can finalize the dates and times for these meetings and put these final dates with the public and with the media.
So one thing I'd like to mention, thank you Laura, is that we will continue to coordinate these meetings through the month of February. So please let us know, and we want to make sure that we're coordinating with you all, with your districts, and give everyone an opportunity to be able to provide their feedback. So as you'll see in the next steps, we're going to continue to conduct these community meetings, and then we're looking to be able to bring a final recommendation to council in spring of this year. And that concludes the presentation, sir.